Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I hope you all had a great day. Hello, Paula. We are definitely in for another good chapter. We are on chapter 18, steadily reading along. If you want to catch up with us, go to the playlist, The Housemaid, and take you a couple nights and you'll be all caught up where we are. And let's get our prayer done. And I will get comfy and we will begin our read. In everything, give thanks. In everything, give thanks. Thessalonians 5:18. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. In everything give thanks. How awesome is that? All right. Let's get started on our book read. Ugh, I gotta get comfy. Oh, it's nice to just get comfortable and read a good book, isn't it? Hello. Welcome in, Tammy. Welcome, welcome. Chapter 18. Oh, I couldn't wait to get into this book tonight. That night, I wake up to the sound of shouting. The attic is incredibly well insulated, so I can't hear anything being said. But there are loud voices coming from somewhere below my room. A male voice, a female voice. Andrew and Nina. Then I hear a crash. Instinctively, I roll out of bed. Maybe it's none of my business, but something is going on down there. I have to at least make sure everything is okay. I put my hand on the doorknob to my room, and it doesn't turn. Most of the time, I'm used to the fact that the door sticks. But every once in a while, I get a jab of panic. But then the knob shifts under my hand and I'm out. I descend the creaky steps to the second floor. Now that I'm out of the attic, the shouting is much louder. It's coming from the master bedroom. Nina's voice yelling at Andrew. She sounds almost hysterical. It's not fair, she cries. I did everything I could and... Nina, he said, it's not your fault. It is my fault. If you were with a younger woman, you could have a baby like you want. It's my fault. Nina, you'd be better off without me. Come on, don't say that. It's true. But she doesn't sound sad. She sounds angry. You wish I was gone. Nina, stop it. There's another loud crash from inside the room, followed by a third crash. I take a step back, torn between knocking on the door to make sure everything is okay and wanting to scurry back to my room and hide. I stand there several seconds, paralyzed by my decision. Then the door is yanked open. Nina is standing there in the same lily-white nightgown she was wearing the night she caught me and Andrew in the living room. But now I notice a streak of crimson on the pale material, starting at the side of her hip and running down the length of the skirt. Millie, her eyes bore into me. What are you doing here? I look down at her hands and see the same crimson over her right palm. Are you spying on us? She arches an eyebrow. Are you listening to our conversation? No, I step back. I just heard a crash and I was worried that I wanted to make sure everything is okay. She notices my gaze directed at what I'm almost sure is a bloodstain on her gown. She looks almost amused by it. I just cut my hand a bit. Nothing to worry about. I don't need your help. But what was going on in there? Is that really why there's blood all over her nightgown? And where is Andrew? What if she killed him? What if he's lying dead in the middle of the bedroom? Or worse, what if he's bleeding to death right now and I have a chance to save him? I can't just walk away. I may have done some bad things in my life, but I'm not going to let Nina get away with murder. Where's Andrew, I say. Pink circles form on her cheeks. Excuse me? I shift between my bare feet. I heard a crash. Is he okay? Nina stares at me. How dare you? What are you accusing me of? It occurs to me that Andrew is a big, strong man. If Nina made short work of him, what chance would I stand against her? But I can't move. I have to make sure he's okay. Go back to your room, she orders me. I swallow a lump in my throat. No. Go back to your room or else you're fired. She means it. I can see it in her eyes, but I can't move. I start to protest again, but then I hear something that makes my shoulders sag with relief. The sound of a faucet turning in the master bedroom. Andrew is okay. He's just in the bathroom. Thank God. Happy? Her light blue eyes are like ice. There's something else there, a twinge of amusement. She likes scaring me. My husband is alive and well. I bow my head. Okay, I just wanted to. I'm sorry I bothered you. I turn around and trudge down the hallway. I can feel Nina's eyes on my back. When I'm almost at the stairwell, her voice rings out behind me. Millie! I turn around. Her white dress glows in the moonlight, filtering into the hallway like she's an angel. Except for the blood. And now I can see a tiny pool of crimson forming on the floor under her injured hand. Yes. Stay up in the attic at night, she blinks at me. Do you understand? She doesn't have to tell me a second time. I never want to come out of the attic again. The next evening, Nina was morphed back into the more pleasant version of herself, having seemingly forgotten last night. I would think it was as all terrifying dream except for the bandage wrapped around her right hand. The white gauze is dotted with crimson. Although she's not being directly weird with me, Nina is more frazzled than usual this morning. When she goes to drive Cecilia to school, her tires screech against the pavement. When she returns, she just stands in the middle of the living room for a moment, staring at the walls, until I finally come out of the kitchen and ask if she's all right. I'm fine. She tugs at the collar at her white blouse, which is wrinkled, even though I am certain I ironed it. Would you be so kind as to make me some breakfast, Millie? The usual? Of course, I say. The usual for Nina is 3 eggs, scrambled in a lot of butter, Parmesan cheese, 4 slices of bacon, an English muffin also buttered. I can't help but think of the comments the other PTA women made about Nina's weight. While she was in the other room, although I respect that she doesn't scrutinize every calorie that goes into her mouth the way they do. Nina isn't gluten-free or a vegan. As far as I can tell, she eats whatever she wants and then some. She even has late-night snacks, as evidenced by the dirty plates she leaves behind on the counter for me to wash in the morning. Not one of those plates has ever made it into the dishwasher. I served the plate of food to her at the dining table with a glass of orange juice on the side. She scrutinizes the food, and I am worried I've got the version of Nina that's going to tell me that everything on this plate is cooked poorly, or else claim flat that she never asked me for breakfast in the first place. But instead, she smiles sweetly at me. Thank you, Millie. You're welcome. I hesitate, hovering over her. By the way, Andrew asked me if I would get you 2 tickets to Showdown on Broadway. Her eyes lit up. He's so thoughtful. Yes, that would be lovely. What are some days that would work for you? She scrapes some eggs into her mouth and chews thoughtfully. I'm free a week from Sunday, if you can swing it. Sure, I can watch Cecilia, of course. She scoops more eggs into her mouth, some of it missing her lips and falls onto her white blouse. She doesn't seem to even notice and continues shoveling food into her mouth. Thank you again, Millie, she winks at me. I really don't know what we would do without you. She likes to tell me that, or that she's going to fire me, one or the other. But I suppose it's not her fault. Nina definitely has emotional problems, like her friend said. I can't stop thinking about her alleged stay in the psychiatric hospital. They don't lock you up for nothing. Something bad must have happened. And part of me is just dying to know what it is. But it's not like I could ask her. And my attempts to get the story out of Esno have been fruitless. Nina has nearly cleaned her entire plate, having devoured the eggs, the bacon, the English muffin, in less than 5 minutes, when Andrew jogs downstairs. I had been a little worried about him after last night, even though I heard the water running. Not that it was a likely scenario, but maybe. I don't know. Nina had the faucet on, some sort of automatic timer just to make it seem like he was in the bathroom, alive and well. Well, like I said, it didn't seem likely, but it also didn't seem impossible. In any case, it's a relief to find him intact. My breath catches a bit at the sight of his dark gray suit, pinned with a light blue dress shirt. Just before Andrew enters the dining room, Nina pushes her plate of food away. She stands up and smooths out her blonde hair, which lacks its usual shine, and the dark roots are even more visible than before. Hello, Andy, she offers him a dazzling smile. How are you this morning? He starts to answer her, but then his eyes dart down to the bit of egg still clinging to her blouse. One side of his lips quirks up. Nina, you have a little egg on you. Oh, her cheeks turn pink as she dabs at the egg on her blouse, but it's been sitting there for several minutes. And the stain still mars the delicate white fabric. Sorry about that. It's okay. You still look beautiful. He grabs her shoulders and pulls her in for a kiss. I watched her melt against him and ignored the twinge of jealousy in my chest. I've got to run to the office, but I'll see you tonight, okay? I'll walk you out, darling. Nina is so freaking lucky. She's got everything. Yes, she did have a stay at the mental institution, but at least she wasn't in prison. And here she is with an incredible house, tons of money, and a husband who is kind, funny, wealthy, considerate, and, well, absolutely gorgeous. I closed my eyes for a moment to think about what it would be like to live in Nina's shoes, to be the woman in charge of this household, to have the expensive clothing and the shoes and the fancy car, to have a maid I could boss around, force her to cook for me and clean for me, and live in a tiny hole in the attic. Well, I had the big bedroom and the king-size bed, and a zillion count sheets, and most of all, to have a husband like Andrew, to have him press his lips against mine the way he did her, to feel his body against my chest. Oh, I must stop thinking like this. Now, is in my defense, it's been a really long time for me. I spent 10 years in prison fantasizing about some perfect guy I would meet when I get out, who would save me from everything. And now, well, it happened to be, it's impossible. I climb the stairs and get to work, making the beds and cleaning the bedrooms. I've just finished up and am returning downstairs when the doorbell rings. I hurry over to answer it, and I am surprised to see Enzo at the door, clutching a giant cardboard box in his arms. "Theo," I say, remembering the greeting he taught me. Amusement flickers over his face. "Theo, this for you." I understand immediately what must have happened. Sometimes delivery people don't realize they can enter through the gate, so they dump heavy packages outside the gate, and I have to heave them up to the house. Enzo must have seen the delivery, leave the package, and now he kindly carried it in for me. "Gracias," I say. He raises his eyebrows at me. "You want It takes me a second to realize what he's asking. "Oh, yes, just put it on the dining room table." I point to the dining room table, and he carries the package over. I remember Nina freaked out that time that Enzo came into the house, but she's not here. And that box looks too heavy for me to lift. After he rests it on the table, I glance at the return address, Evelyn Winchester. Probably somebody in Andrew's family. "Gracie," I say again. Enzo nods. He's wearing a white t-shirt and jeans. He looks good. He's always out somewhere in the neighborhood, working up a sweat in the yard, and a lot of rich women in this neighborhood love to ogle him. Truthfully, I prefer Andrew's looks. And of course, there's the language barrier. But maybe having a little fun with Enzo would be good for me. It would relieve a little bit of that pent-up energy, and maybe I would stop having inappropriate fantasies about my boss's husband. I'm not quite sure how to broach the subject, given he doesn't even speak English. But I'm pretty sure the language of love is universal. Water I offer him while I'm trying to figure out exactly how to go about this. He nods. See? I run to the kitchen and grab a glass from the cabinet. I fill it halfway with water. When I bring it out to him, he takes it gratefully. Gracie. His biceps bulge as he drinks from the glass. He has a really good body. I wonder what he's like. Probably fantastic. I'm wringing my hands together as he drinks the glass of water. So, are you busy? He lowers the glass and looks at me blankly. Huh? I clear my throat. Like, do you have much work? Work? He nods at the word he understands. Seriously, I don't get it. He's been working here for 3 years, and he really doesn't understand any English? Sí, muchas gracias. Oh. This is not going well. Maybe I should just get right down to the point. Listen, I take a step towards him. I just thought maybe you would want to take a little break. His dark eyes studied my face. He does have pretty eyes. I no understand. I can do this. Language of love and all that. A break. I reach out, place my hand on his chest, and raise my eyebrows suggestively. You know, I had expected at this point he would grin at me, scoop me off my feet, and carry me up to the attic, where he would ravish me for hours. What I did not expect is the way his eyes darkened. He leaped away from me like my hand was on fire, and lets loose with a string of rapid, angry Italian. I have no idea what he's saying, aside from the fact he's not saying hello or thank you. I'm so sorry, I said helplessly. He yells at me. He makes a hand through his black hair. This is so freaking embarrassing. I want to crawl under the table. I mean, I thought there was a chance he might reject me, but not this quite so vehemently. I didn't mean to. He looks up at the stairwell, almost fearfully, and then back at my face. I go now. Right, I nodded him. Of course. I'm sorry. I was just being friendly. I didn't mean to. He gives me a look like he knows what I had just said. I guess some stuff is universal. I'm sorry, I say for the third time as he strides towards the door. And thank you for the package. He pauses at the door, turning so his dark eyes meet mine. You get out, Millie, he says in his broken English. He presses his lips together and then manages to get the word out to me the first day we met, this time in English. Dangerous. He looks back up at the stairwell again, a troubled expression on his face. Then he shakes his head, and before I can stop him to try to figure out what he means, he hurried out the front door. And that takes us to chapter 20. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Wow. Yes, I think he knows more than he is letting on. And I really think that he likes her, so he's trying to warn her to get out of this house. But we shall see. Next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Same time, same place. And we will read chapter 20 and find out what is going on. Thank you for coming in, everyone. And welcome to the new subscribers who have come in. We appreciate you. And you guys have a very good night. Sweet dreams. Be happy and always stay positive. Good night, everyone.